Good afternoon, everybody. We're glad to be here, and we're glad to share the work that I think we're all doing in adaptive courseware. It's pretty exciting. So let me just start with a little bit about the Personalized Learning Consortium. Quite honestly, came out of some of the work that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was funding about 4 years ago, and where they were very interested in personalized learning. And a group of the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities, which represents about 237 institutions, 43 systems, public research universities, had started participating in a consortium model to think about how to work together towards these leveraging effective technologies, particularly around learning. And that was carried forward when we were able to successfully land a very generous grant, again, from the foundation.
My name is Tammy Goulet. I'm a professor at the University of Mississippi in the Department of Biology, and I'm going to be speaking from the trenches. So there are multiple courses and multiple departments that are involved at the University of Mississippi, but I'm going to be focusing on the course that we are dealing with in biology. And that course is BISC 102. It's Inquiry into Life, Human Biology. We have about 2,000 students annually that take the course. We have 6 different instructors that teach the course. We had decided on one textbook, so we have one textbook, we have one chapter. We have decided on the chapters that we're covering in that textbook. And then as part of this, actually before the grant started, we had decided that we were going to use adaptive learning in it. But there are things that you need to adapt when you use adaptive learning. So I'm going to be referring to those. So one of the things that we had to adapt is actually the grading, because if you don't assign points to students doing something, they're not going to do it. And so you have to assign a minimum of 20% of the grade into doing that. And we're learning that as we're going along, because I originally assigned less. And then the investment, or we get about 75% of the students that participate. So we want it to be higher.
I'm Tim Fleming again from Georgia State University. And I want to actually just take my few minutes here to talk a little bit about how we have scaled out adaptive learning into multiple sections of our courses. Year one of the project for us was really exploration. We were learning about, as faculty members, what adaptive learning is and what these different platforms and coursewares can actually bring to both us and the students. And so we had a vendor courseware vendors come in and had a sort of fair of sorts where we would sit down and evaluate each of the bits of courseware and really figure out which one of the vendors offered what was the best for our courses. Year two, which is what we're in right now, is what we're calling our pilot study. If I could read a little bit closer here. One of the main things that we are incorporating into our pilot study this year is a comparison between adaptive and non-adaptive courses. And then year three is going to be our full scale, where we implement the technology in every one of the sections of the courses that are involved.
Good afternoon. It's a blessing to be here with you. My name is Tom Hinckley. I'm Director of Solutions Architecture for McGraw-Hill, but probably more importantly to this group, I actually wear another hat. I'm a subject matter expert for an introductory computer course that runs about 120 sections a year of 25 students per section. So I'm excited to be here in the room with you because in my role as Director of Solutions Architecture, I get the privilege of building tools that ultimately hopefully make your job easier implementing things like adaptive courseware. So McGraw-Hill is an organization, and the slide that I have up here is that if you walk away from this session, at least the portion here, thinking, oh, he thinks that ebooks are a success and it's just moving from a physical book to something digital, then that's failure. That's not what we're after. That's the age-old VHS to DVD type equation, right? It's not just the medium of which content is being delivered, but ultimately at McGraw-Hill, when you see things from us about our investments, we've done about $700 million over the past 6 years of technology investment into building platforms that are centered around adaptive learning and ultimately demonstrating measurable learning outcomes within the courses that all of you are teaching. So I guess kind of in summation, it's an honor to be sitting in the room with you because I share a similar heartbeat with each of you, because ultimately at the end of the day we want the learning to take center stage for our students, and I think we would all ultimately agree in that. With these new technologies and these new platforms, at least from the McGraw-Hill perspective, we are trying to make it a consistent look and feel to where ultimately your student experience through your learning management system, it takes center stage, and then we will supplement it with data and tools in the back end that ultimately are seamless into your learning management system. So thank you.